Bitcoin, actually a pretty big sell-off this morning. Take a look at this, guys. So we have Bitcoin, which was hammering on the daily 200 moving average. You can see here in the pink line right there. It got above here, and now look, it's retraced into that level. This is classic technical behavior.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, let's talk about Bitcoin and more.
The S&P 500 closing right around here on Friday. So if we can draw our line right there, that's where we closed on Friday. You can see we are trading lower today. Now, the kicker is this, right? Is that you had so many kind of weird narratives being spun over the last couple weeks, and I've really talked about that, guys. I've really talked about how these narratives, to me, are very contrived. It's almost being done as an emergency measure. We talk about emergency lending programs by the Federal Reserve and all these different things that the government does. This almost seems like the institutions are in panic mode, and they're like, we have to keep this market up. We have to get more individual retail investors in because we have to be able to unload to them. Because again, the narrative spinning has been so obvious. Usually it's a little bit more subtle, not so subtle recently. So just keep that in mind. Markets nonetheless are trading down today. I want to show you this chart on the SPY daily chart. This is one I harped on last week. If we can flip back to the charts there and take a look at this, guys. Remember the doji? This was when the next day after the Federal Reserve cut rates. A doji, again, has a little bit of a wick on top, a tail on the bottom, and it closes flat in the middle right there. Notice how the high of that, we opened above it on Thursday, we closed below it. We opened above it on Friday, we closed below it. The market is struggling to take that out. Remember, I said that if we take that out, we should go to 6,000 on the S&P 500. Now, listen, it's still a chance they'll be able to spin these jobs data numbers coming out. We all know how that's going to go, right? We all know, right? So the jobs numbers probably come out, weak or whatever, and then, or maybe they'll come out strong, and then the revisions the month later. And by the way, that's one of the things I'm going to watch very closely is that we get that jobs number on Friday. Do they revise last month's down even more? If they do, you really can't trust these jobs numbers whatsoever. You have to assume they're weaker than anticipated or being reported. We are seeing NVIDIA under pressure this morning. So a couple things to note here. There's definitely been some chatter about China starting to play catch up, not only with stimulus, obviously, for their economy, but also in the chip sector, coming up with new chips, maybe potentially starting to dilute the chips if they start making chips that rival what NVIDIA is doing. We're seeing the whole chip sector under pressure. And you can see, again, if we look at NVIDIA here, NVIDIA closed right up in this range on Friday. It is down over $3 pre-market here. Now, again, if you're part of the stocks, the smart money stocks and ETFs, we did pick up the SOX, the SOXS, which is a triple short SMH or semiconductor play. We are in the money on that, obviously, based off this move. On a technical basis, the semis were short late last week. All right, couple other big players here in the motion in pre-market. We're going to go to Bitcoin in just 1 second, but we are looking at Meta basically holding flat. Apple, let's take a look at Apple here. The daily Apple chart, look at this on the chart, guys. See this trend line right here? Notice how it keeps trying to get through. Here's your first pivot, your second, your third, and even your fourth here. Is it going to get rejected down to this area of support, or will it push up and break out, in which case you'll test the all-time highs? And by the way, with NVIDIA, same thing. Look at that. Right there. It opened above, got rejected, and then on Friday fell, and guess what? It's trading down in this range today. So you can see these trend lines working magic right now, keeping price under wraps versus what we are currently seeing in some of the other areas like the Chinese stock.
According to Sentiment, Bitcoin may not reach a new all-time high soon, as social media sentiment is at its most bullish in months. Historically, markets tend to move in the opposite direction of popular. Sentiment reports that there are nearly double the number of bullish posts about Bitcoin compared to bearish ones on social media. Historically, markets tend to move against the crowd's expectations, suggesting that Bitcoin's rise may slow down if sentiment remains overheated. Bitcoin's price has rallied 14% in the last 2 weeks, climbing from under $58,000 on September 17 to over $66,000 on September 28. This makes it one of Bitcoin's best Septembers for gains, with the cryptocurrency up 12% this month. The Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index has shifted from extreme fear, 22, earlier in September to greed, 61, on September 30, reflecting rising market optimism. Despite positive momentum, factors like bearish stablecoin demand in China and an overheated sentiment environment could delay Bitcoin's path to a new all-time high. While Bitcoin's recent rally is encouraging, analysts caution that overly bullish sentiment may lead to a correction. Investors should keep an eye on market conditions and sentiment metrics for signals of a potential pullback.
Bitcoin, actually a pretty big sell-off this morning. Take a look at this, guys. So we have Bitcoin, which was hammering on the daily 200 moving average. You can see here in the pink line right there. It got above here, and now look, it's retraced into that level. This is classic technical behavior in terms of a chart. So it got above finally, and again, it now is coming back in and pulling right back into that level. So again, you can see right there, that's your technical support. Now, if that gives way and price ends up closing below the pivot line, this is your bullish, bearish pivot line. I've talked about this for a long time. That would be your technical support level right there. That's just above 60,000. And then again, you don't want to see, if you're a bull, you do not want to see that pivot line go. This one, this 200 MA, it's kind of okay. You can see it got above here and failed. If it gets above here, comes down, it can still go back up to the 68,000 level. But if you get below the pivot line, that's where I think you get a very fast drop down into support number 1 and support number 2, back to about 50,000 and change, maybe even 49,000 on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, again, giving back some of its recent gains here. A little bit concerning because the stock market's not down that much. So again, you just want to be very aware that the correlation between Bitcoin and the stock market is at almost unprecedented levels right now. And that just makes me very nervous about crypto, because I do worry that at some point we're going to get that stock market correction again, maybe a 5% or 10%, or how much does Bitcoin drop, or how much does Ethereum drop, which has remained weaker than Bitcoin overall. All right, let's go to a couple of these other charts here as we go through. We'll take a quick look at gold. If we flip over to the gold chart, we can see here, gold again, guys, right into my key technical level. I did short gold with my commodity members last week. So again, we are short, and we're short the GDX. And remember, I've been a staunch bull on gold, and I remain bullish on gold, right? So again, I think that's important, is that, remember, time frame matters. Short term, we're due for a pullback on gold. It's just that simple. So gold overbought. The hype was getting too big, too many retail, and I hate saying that because I fight for the retail investors, but I'm trying to educate so you guys don't become, or you don't fall into these loopholes, right? But the point being is, too many retail were piling in. The hype on the media was getting too big. It's due for a pullback. It hits the logarithmic level. As we go back to the chart here, you can see from 1980 to 2011, boom, right into that level. If we zoom in, we can see it pulling back as we speak. There's your little tail right there on that pierce. All right, so where do we pull back to? I think only about 2,500. That would be what I would look for. That'll be where I cover my shorts, and then I'll probably flip it right back into a long, as my mid to long term is still rosy. I just think, again, you got to flush out the weak hands, just like in other markets that we've seen over and over again.
XRP outperformed the broader crypto market today, rising 1.5%, while the overall market dipped slightly. Increased trading volume and a strong market structure suggest XRP may be on track for a sustained price recovery. XRP rose from a low of $0 and 5,857 on September 28 to an intraday high of $0 and 6,328 on September 29, signaling strong upward momentum. The altcoin's market cap increased to $35.4 billion, securing its position as the 7th largest cryptocurrency. XRP's trading volume surged to $2.2 billion on September 28, a 133% increase since September 21. This heightened activity reflects growing market interest in XRP after weeks of sideways price action. XRP has outperformed Bitcoin significantly, gaining 31% over the last 90 days, compared to Bitcoin's modest 5% rise. XRP also recorded 25% gains against Bitcoin during this period, indicating strengthening market structure. Analysts are pointing to a large symmetrical triangle on the XRP monthly chart, indicating a potential breakout. Crypto analyst Milky Bull Crypto predicts an explosive move, with price targets ranging from $10 to $20 if XRP breaks above the upper trend line. XRP's recent price action and strong technical indicators suggest a bullish outlook. If it breaks above key resistance levels, XRP could experience significant price growth in the coming months. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.